Space News 43, September 20th, 2024. Hello again. Thank you for being here with me once more. I hope you are very well today. I am Marie. Hello, welcome to my channel. This information can be seen as science fiction, or as the viewer sees best, and I post it for entertainment purposes only. Still, I take my information very seriously, and for whoever has eyes to see. I am writing this on the morning of September 20th, 2024. At the time I am writing these words, we have not received any news from the Galactic Federation, so there are no new developments on that subject, but I must inform you all that we do detect an unusually large amount of Orion Grey activity near and on Earth. We find this quite uncomfortable because we could say that after the Alphratans they are now the most numerous star race around and on Earth, and while the rest of us are choking on Galactic Federation restrictions of all kinds, they are apparently allowed to roam the planet freely. One of the things which makes that so annoying is that the Galactic Federation dismisses this as normal, also saying that most of those Orion Grey ships are actually from Zeta Reticuli, therefore are only little gardeners, as if the rest of star races here weren't intelligent and resourceful enough to know all the specs and the telltale signs that indicate from where exactly those ships came from. As for the actual positive little Zeta Greys, who are the gardeners and the custodians of biology on Earth among countless other planets, we have detected that their activity and presence on Earth have been unusually low during the last few months. We do not know exactly why, but we do notice that as the Orion Grey activity goes up, the Zeta Grey activity goes down, and in more or less equal proportion. The worst part of this is that both the IRMA and we have detected several Orion Grey craft exiting Earth's atmosphere using Zeta Grey identification muon frequencies, clearly wanting to hide who they really are. In human terms, their transponder indicates wrong and misleading identification data, which even lies about the craft specifications. A transponder is a device that all aircraft must have, and which transmits its identity and specifications to other aircraft and the control towers. If we can notice this, so can other races and the Galactic Federation themselves, yet they choose to gaslight us denying that there is any problem, and in our faces, as if all our instrumentations couldn't identify those crafts even without the transponders, again using human terms to be understood. The problem is that all this Orion Grey activity using Zeta Grey transponder codes implies a lot of darker possibilities we can only speculate about at this time, because if they are flying around Earth attempting to pass off as Zeta Greys, they can also be abducting people under Zeta Grey licenses and stellar rules, regulations, and permits, which all come from the Galactic Federation, of course. Connecting this to the low activity of real Zeta Greys, you can imagine the ramifications, especially because the human population who are experiencing abductions cannot tell one from another, because even though the Zeta Greys, also known as gardeners, are positive and mean no harm, they are as emotionally disturbing as the ones from Orion. This looks like another human farm abusive scheme from the Orion Greys, with at least the permissiveness of the Galactic Federation, if not the full cooperation of them, especially when we know that the Autorthans, which claim to be positive but have demonstrated not to be, much less for human Lyrians, are known to be working from the Viera Andromedan biosphere ship. We know nothing about them since several months ago, but we know that they are pulling important strings in the local Galactic Federation, and safe to say, also in the Saturn level of the same organization, the level that controls this solar system, this officially, because we now know the entire galactic quadrant we are all in, is controlled from the Galactic Federation headquarters there in Saturn. Moving on to other things. There are nearly 500 Taygetan cadets and experienced people who are willing to come here to Earth's orbit to reinforce our presence here. They were to arrive here sometime at the end of the coming week, yet their Toleka-class starship, which has been recently updated as much as possible to meet the new Toleka 2 Sardaklaya-class starship standards, has not passed her tests, therefore their arrival will be delayed. They, and we, are also considering bringing them here in another Alcyone-class dreadnought, if their Toleka-class does not clear its trials on time. Even Sardaklaya took several months to perfect and tune her systems correctly before being cleared for interstellar travel, and for a protracted presence orbiting a troubled faraway planet in deep space, Earth. The 30, or so, people who were on board Toleka are adapting well to our new ship Sardaklaya, even though she is a Toleka-class heavy cruiser and many things are very similar, other spaces are not, so it does take some time for all of us to adapt. One of the new things happening here is Sophia Yazhi's tendency to disappear for many hours, sometimes over a day. Although this is nothing new, the length of time she disappears has been steadily increasing, much to the dismay of all the adults who want to take care of her, to the point where they are starting to give up on looking for Wally, as we say here. This new ship has many interesting spaces to hide in, and as I have a strong connection to Yazhi, I always feel she is just fine, yet what does worry me is the reason why such a young girl wants or needs to be completely alone for so long. I know she is doing astral work, or working from the astral, or just dwelling there, although I don't know if there is any difference between those three. As for myself, I am perhaps one of the people here who has needed to do the most adapting, as I am not only adjusting to our new starship, but also to my new role as the Taygetan Queen, and everything that comes with it, much of which I have been sharing with you here as much as I can. For example, I consider myself to be a tidy person, yet my room is full of boxes with many of the things I had when we were on board the starship Toleka, and which I have had no chance to organize and place in their correct spaces. Moving to another subject. I have been thinking about all that surrounds this communication, contact, or however you want to call it, its history and problems. Although what I am going to say next may sound like me reacting to criticism, and to trolls, I am not. Let me remind you that I am kept quite isolated from all those kinds of bad vibrations coming from people on Earth who dismiss us as frauds or anything else along those words, because if I wouldn't be, I would not have the focus, not the mental and emotional energy to write so much, because I need to communicate with all of you, and as much as I can. Not to mention that I must be emotionally stable and focused to be able to fulfill my role as the Taygetan Queen, because that alone is quite a heavy burden. It hurts me to be so isolated from all of you who listen to me day after day, but I see no other way, for now, other than continuing as we have been doing up to now. But even though I am isolated, I do get many messages coming from you, mostly filtered by CIC, which is the intelligence deck on this ship, and I am also quite aware of what has happened in the past, concerning this group and my predecessors. I know that we have never been taken seriously by any group or organization that studies extraterrestrial activity on Earth, and the reasons why not are complicated and highly entangled and could fill several videos. Yet what I want to say is that the same people who may or have criticized us have also been discredited themselves, and for many reasons. Those reasons mostly include complicated interests that connect them directly with three-letter intelligence agencies which are tasked to control all the information that gets to the public, and also connect them to shadier organizations, many of which are religious and with a lot of power and control over human civilization, such as those in Rome. I need not say their names. At least most, if not all the UFO researchers are connected to those who developed and control all the information which can be classified as New Age, so beware of who you are listening to out there. I will inform you, flat out, that several Rome-connected groups of people are impersonating extraterrestrials to push their control agendas. They wish to validate new and old belief systems and their avatars to further their interests and those who are pushing the New Globe mandate, if you know what I mean, and remember that the New Age is nothing more than another of their tentacles. Then there is another reason why most, if not all those groups of people who call themselves experts in the extraterrestrial field, defend their ideas and attack others who do not go with them, and it is because they are doing it all for the money, for profit. After all, they sell books and they have rights with important media platforms and so on. I know that there are countless charlatans and extraterrestrial impersonators out there, many of which may be doing it just for the fun of it, but here I am talking about the big ones with a lot of followers. Here I am not attacking nor am I discrediting anyone. I am only alerting my public to these facts, because it is you who must listen to everyone, follow no one, and make up your own minds. All this I said above about other people may apply to my group, to me, yet I am okay with that fact as I recognize its inevitability. I do not want to justify myself, but we have been here and at it, directly, for nearly a decade. We have been slandered, attacked, and discredited systematically with the utmost cruelty, and we are still here, talking. I know I have inherited the task to communicate with all of you humankind, although I fully recognize that many of you are not exactly human. And I know that many things I say may hurt the credibility of my overall message, like little Yazhi Sophia not growing and walking through solid titanium walls, or the mere fact that who is writing these words is the Taygetan queen herself, although I may only be mirroring my own ideas and feelings, as I being the queen took quite a time to sink into me. I still see myself as simply Marie. As I said above, most of the people who are into extraterrestrial subjects, and who have made a career out of that subject do it for the money, and although my group didn't ask for anything, nor did they need any money for like 5 years, while giving all their information through Robert of Despojando Enigmans, and Gosha of Cosmic Agency, things and circumstances have changed. Nothing on earth works or can be done without money, and using money to discredit extraterrestrials is nothing more than another control tactic of the matrix of Earth, because I have noticed that anything that is out of the norm, for example, mediums and psychics among other similar ones, do not ask for money, they only give their knowledge freely. But this is highly abusive because it limits them as they cannot dedicate themselves to giving and sharing their abilities and knowledge with humanity, because they must sustain an exploitative regular 9 to 5 poorly paid job. As is my case, I cannot get a regular job, because I am on a starship and I have other obligations here, and even though this may be seen as incredible or impossible by many people, it is still my life and my facts, and I must deal with them, because it is the truth, and I can't do or say otherwise. Why would extraterrestrials need money? As I said before, most do not and some others do, just like everyone else. I have never denied my human part. Yes, I am human and I have human survival needs from Earth which I can only get with money. But I am also not human, as many of you aren't either, as I am a bridge between both worlds as most of you already know, and I thank you for knowing that. I am on a large Taygetan starship that would cost billions upon billions of dollars to build, but I cannot eat room temperature superconductive cables, holographic projector lenses, or polymorphic titanium, nor can I eat Taygetan food as my biology largely rejects it, probably because I lived on Earth for too long before coming back here. And besides food, there are other needs which are necessary to keep us here and to make this communication possible. For example, new equipment. The boundaries between where humanity ends and extraterrestrials begin are blurry, complicated, and dubious, as I have attempted to explain in countless videos up to now. I don't like to mix this subject with my other ones, but I must say it or you will never know. Talking about money is somewhat uncomfortable for me, as I know it may be misinterpreted, but I must, as I owe it to you. What Google through YouTube is giving me is by far not enough for all the expenses needed to sustain a 30 or so crew, and myself with special needs, so I want to thank all of you who have bothered to sponsor me through PayPal and Mercado Pago. A very special thank you to all of you who have recurrently and constantly been backing me up that way, because you are literally sustaining us here, making our and my work possible in a protracted manner. I wish I could thank you more directly, because I feel my words are not enough, but my heart is filled with gratitude and motivation to carry on. You are wonderful people. Thank you for your donations. Big and small, they are incredibly helpful, and a very special thank you to the few of you who are sponsoring me through recurrent donations, because that is what you are, a direct sponsor. Thank you. This brings me to remind you that for each donation you will receive a thank you message, although its content may repeat because there are only so many words in the English or Spanish language to show appreciation. And as the volume isn't much, we are sending each one of you a thank you message by hand, and one by one. I mean, it's not automated, so mistakes may occur, or we may take hours to reply as my team, and I usually send them during our late afternoon hours, ship internal time. Thank you. A big hug and a kiss to you all. This will be all for today. As always, thank you for watching my video, and for liking, sharing, and subscribing for more. It helps this channel grow a lot. And I hope to see you here next time. With much love and appreciation, your friend, Marie Swaruu.